I gets right to the point.
Time to play around.
When it comes to this cheddar,
Lay a nigga down.
bust shots at his roller if he dare come back around. Pay me on time or I got to take mine. At first I seem friendly, but that's just in me. I warn you, when I blow it gets a little windy. You make me wanna fight you. I ain't nothing like you. Y'all paper thin, my shit recycled. They call me Little Kim, aka Cover Girl. Sometimes I feel like I'm from another fucking world. Niggas buy me glass slippers and diamond fingernails and oh shit, I got it all in this bitch.
Goodness gracious, the papers, where the cash at, where the stash at, nigga pass that.
We rollin' a tinted naps, TVs in the dash. See, we love the cash.
Goodness gracious, the papers, where the cash at, where the stash at, nigga pass that.
We rollin' a tinted naps, TVs in the dash. See, we love the cash. To all my bitches in the strip club, shaking their ass.
I ain't mad, do you think, mommy?
Get that cash. And all my hustling niggas still out in the ass. Fighting over blocks and who got the best rocks. And goodness gracious, the struggle never stops. The things we all do to keep our pockets filled with knots. People fuck to my music, they say it's pornographic. My billboards are snipes when they gon' be a classic. I fuck with dudes with members only jackets that sleep on brass beds with money for a mattress. Getting money, bitch, and I roll with dimes. Take pictures with our nines on the cover of the New York Times. Tattoos down our spine with the picture of a dime. Cutting niggas short like it makes for phone time. Everything I get is custom made. Niggas wanna get laid, I gotta get paid. The papers.
Goodness gracious, the papers, where the cash at, where the stash at, nigga pass that.
We rollin' a tinted naps, TVs in the dash. See, we love the cash.
Goodness gracious, the papers, where the cash at, where the stash at, nigga pass that.
We rollin' a tinted naps, TVs in the dash. See, we love the cash.
Goodness gracious, the papers, where the cash at, where the stash at, nigga pass that.
We rollin' a tinted naps, TVs in the dash. See, we love the cash.
Goodness gracious, the papers, where the cash at, where the stash at, nigga pass that.
We rollin' a tinted naps, TVs in the dash. See, we love the cash.
Good. Welcome to the Wyatt Live 5 p.m. Drive Home Show. Let me just say this coming out the gate. My apologies for the opening, the opening music. The wrong button was pressed. I like that song, but that's a song I listen to myself, not necessarily on the show. But we all grown here. It's parental advisory. So I just want to say welcome. My man, Emmanuel Livingston is on the air right now discussing what we spoke about this morning on Wyatt Live 9 a.m. test show. I love my brother, but I don't know what the hell he on right now. For anybody that's just coming over from this show, I can't even rebuttal that shit. I can't even say anything about that. I mean, I generally, I don't even know how, it's so easy to defend the point of what we're talking about over here versus saying that this teacher literally robbed this little girl of her phone. And it was not about the actions of the little girl. It's what most people do that show no accountability past what's in front of them. They blame the easy target. And the easy target in this case is the teacher. The teacher, because she don't have on the right kind of drawers. The teacher, because she has red hair. The teacher, because you profiling her to be something that if white folks was doing that same thing at a TV station or a radio station or a podcast, saying that same thing about a teacher that happened to be black, Your whole energy would change. Y'all energy would totally be different if it was a white man saying everything about that black lady teacher. Y'all would be talking about, oh, see, they think we can't have red hair and be excellent. They think we can't wear little short dresses, or why they worried about what underwear she worked. That ain't got nothing to do with teaching. See, this is foolishness to me. I don't even want to get into it. You know, this is why you'll never get those real problems solved, because it's a fucking game to people. I'm too passionate about shit like this. I can't let something like that. I'm not going to let it get to a point where I'm just like going to be a fool about it. I said what I had to say about it. Now, those that want to take it serious with me, jump on board. If it's a fucking game, if she had on Victoria's Secrets and thongs and all that old shit, if that's a game to y'all, then play your game. I said what I had to say about it. The reason why we have children in the school like that is just because of the reaction that you're getting from people right now. They take it lightly. It don't mean anything. And you got little girls like that and little boys like that in schools assaulting teachers. So what I did today is I did a little homework. Thanks to Mama Birch. Mama Birch sent me something. She tagged me in something. And Mama Birch, I'm going to use what you gave me today. Because since it's all about what the teacher is wearing, I got another clip today to show you the same situation. But it's not about a cell phone that a teacher robbed the little girl about. It's not about the teacher having on thong or non-thong underwear. It has nothing to do with the things that y'all want to play and joke about. It's all about what's going on in these schools and what's keeping everybody from being productive in school. When things like that happen, it's not just affecting that teacher and that student. It's taking away quality teaching time from that whole classroom. And not to mention the classrooms next door. Because here come teachers from all over coming to assist one teacher that's dealing with a badass kid. See, here's the thing. We will admit the teacher was wrong. The kid was wrong. But come on, you went from this teacher confiscating a phone, which is her right as the authority figure. As an authority figure of the classroom, she can take that little girl's phone if it's being misused. That's called authority figure. I know some of us have a problem dealing with authority. I know we got authority problems. I know we do. But let me just say this, and I'm going to say it again. You know who got the most problems with authority people? People with authority, you know who got the most problems? There's two people in this world that have the most problems with authority. Can somebody name them? Let me help you out a little bit. Self-employed people have a problem with authority. And unemployed people. Those are two people that got the most problems with authority. And it ain't got to be no color. The people that have the most incidents and the problems with authority figure are self-employed people and unemployed people. Neither one of them like to be told what to do. Neither one of them want to go through proper protocol to get to the base, to what it's either going to be their way or no way. But if you want to lean to who do it the selfish way or the foolish way, it's the unemployed people. Because at least the people who are self-employed have to adopt a little bit if they want to stay in business. But come on, let's just be honest. How did you get from the teacher? You didn't change the entire narrative. You didn't made it a whole fucking robbery. A whole crime. You didn't got the teacher going in and snatching the little girl's phone. Give me that phone. You ain't never getting it back. I'm taking this one. My kid's gonna keep this one. Come on, it ain't no new jack. That wasn't. She didn't get jacked. Come on now. How could y'all not take that serious? Why is it about what the teacher is wearing? That little girl got issues to swing on an authority figure. That's going to ride with her. If you don't correct that, she going to hit the wrong authority person. And I hate to break the news, but we all got authority figures we got to look to. Nobody runs this world. Nobody is in charge of just everybody. Everybody answers to somebody. It's amazing to me that y'all would dumb this down and make so light of this when it's a serious issue, because it plagues the community. It plagues the community. It plagues the community in so many different ways that I don't even know where to start. You don't want to hold the little girl accountable for her actions. You give her the right to be able to swing on a teacher. And then you break it down to, well, here's what I do know. After watching the video and after getting some information, here's what I found out. All of this happened, sorry about that, guys. All of that happened at the end of the class. Some of the kids got their cell phones back. The little girl clearly says, you didn't keep anybody else's cell phone. So what does that tell you? Other cell phones were taken. Listen to the video. You didn't keep anyone else's cell phones. This was after the class. This is not during class, it's during transition. And the teacher clearly the student clearly said, why don't the rules apply to everybody? And the teacher said they do. She said, no, they don't. No, they don't. You didn't keep anybody else's cell phone, meaning she took the other cell phones as well, but she kept hers. For what reason? Could it have been because she was cussing her out? Could it have been that she was a little bit more disruptive? This is a substitute teacher, E. What makes you think? You even broke it down and said that this teacher has a personal vendetta against this little girl. See, we'll never fix us. Because like I told like I told Drop. I read you, Jesse. Okay, whatever. I disagree with you. Anybody that say the teacher is wrong, let's get it out the air right now. I disagree with you. All right, watch this morning show. I really don't want to go crazy this afternoon. I got somewhere to be, and I don't want to go crazy with this topic. But I'm not even on that I'm not even really on that anymore. I'm on our reaction to what happened. I'm on what we saying and what we think. I mean, our reaction, how we playing this down, how we acting like this teacher was on go. Like when you say things like this teacher wanted to fight with this little girl. I didn't get that vibe. I didn't get that vibe. Because somebody say, get your hands off me, don't touch me, don't touch me, don't touch me. I hear people say that all the time. That don't mean they want to fight. That don't mean they want to fight. That mean don't touch me. If you do touch me, we gonna fight. That might mean that, but it don't necessarily mean that is not a threat when you tell somebody don't touch me, get out of my space, don't touch me. That's not a threat. Here's what I like to ask you guys to do, since I don't even understand how I'm even going here with this conversation, trying to equate it to a robbery. But I'd ask this question to you. If I'm in the courthouse and my phone rings while I'm in court, and the judge tells his bailiff or his guard, go get that phone. Go get that phone. And I hand the phone over to the guard, and they confiscate my phone. Did he just steal that phone from me? Did he just rob me for my property? Or did I do something that was in a disruptive situation? I mean, did an authority figure use their power to be able to confiscate something that was disruptive in court? Same thing in class. Here's my thing. I'm not going to talk about this long because I got some real shit to talk about. I didn't say what I had to say. I know some people probably weren't here in the morning. So it's probably fair that I touch on this just a little bit. But what I'm going to do is I want to compare this video. I tell you what I'll do. I'll play the video again. How about that? This, we didn't talk about this afternoon. We talked about it this morning. So just to be fair, I want to show the video so some people who may have missed it will know what I'm talking about. All right. Let me cue it up. My bad. All right. Basically, what it is a student in school who had her cell phone confiscated by the substitute teacher. The substitute teacher takes her phone, and at the end of the class, the little girl is going to get her phone back. I'm assuming. I don't know if that's the case or what it is, but the teacher was like, no, you can't have the phone. And then the little girl started cussing her out, saying, give me my shit, give me my shit, give me my phone. And what I don't understand is who's okay with that type of behavior. Who's okay with a kid coming into an adult space, telling them what they're going to do? An authoritarian space and telling them what they're going to do. Do you teach your kid to deal with an adult like that? So with further ado, I'll just play the video and you tell me how this teacher is wrong. How is this teacher wrong for defending herself, first of all? Because here's the only thing. I heard Emmanuel, I heard him say that this teacher stole this little girl's phone. Okay. Number one, what just happened in that classroom legally was not a theft. It was a confiscation. That's different. The only crime that happened in that classroom was when that little girl hit the teacher. That's an assault. That's the only crime that happened. I heard some of the callers talking about the lady beat the shit out of the kid and she was suffocating. She couldn't breathe. That's that chaos agent shit. Them people will never, that type of mind frame will be where it is. You can't save everybody. You ain't gonna be able to save everybody. Trust me. I know that mentality. It's already out where it is. It's out there. So I'm gonna play this video. You get what you get out of it, but then keep in mind, I got part two. Since it's all about what the teacher is wearing, it's all about her little funny ass skirt. It's all about she ain't got no drawers on. It's all about her red hair. It's all about all that shit. If it's all about that, then you keep that in mind when I show you the other video. Check it out.
Shit, that's my shit. Why does the rules not apply to everybody else? That's my phone. No, you did not keep nobody else's phone. And you finna give me my shit.
Don't touch me.
That's on my mom.
Don't touch me. Girl, don't touch me. Girl, don't touch me.
Get a t-shirt.
Fuck you. Somebody get a fucking teacher. Get a fucking teacher. Get a fucking teacher. Get a fucking teacher. Get a teacher. Get a teacher. Somebody get a teacher. I don't give a fuck. Get out. Get a teacher. Get a teacher. Get a teacher. Get a teacher. Get a teacher.
Y'all just go sit here and watch
Get a teacher.
What the fuck is wrong with y'all?
Get a teacher.
Get this bitch.
Okay, it was all about what the teacher was wearing. That's what triggered the little girl to act like they down on Lynn Street. Act like they up on 13th. Act like they over the Rhine, some old bullshit ass place. I'm gonna fight this teacher because she ain't got on no drawers. She looked like somebody out on the block. I can treat her any old kind of way. That's nonsense. Or if you really want to say the teacher robbed her for her phone. Get out of here. That's nonsense. That's nonsense. I tell you what, I'm going to show you this other video. Here's what's the excuse in this one. So we can get a little consistency on how some of these kids are out here fighting or are acting towards teachers. Let's see what the problem is here on this particular one. Let me see where it is. Where is it? There it is. Tell me what's the problem here with this teacher. Let's make up a reason why this teacher was wrong. Because I see consistencies. The common denominator is an emotional child. That's what I see here.
You're not gonna talk to me like that. Bitch, you're not gonna talk to me like that. You're not gonna talk to me like that. You die playing in my face right now. You need to give her a fucking.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my God.
Put your hands on me. Yeah, I swear to God, if you don't get your hands, put your hands on me. Get your hands on me. Don't get so
But y'all want to say the kids just like us. They ain't no different than we was. You a damn lie. That mess there would never happen back in the day, especially for no female. Whatever. If you had a dude who was out of control, you might have that. But then the other guys in the class wouldn't let him did it. We'd have stood up and stopped him. That wouldn't have happened. It's different out here today. That child don't come in here to us. Well, the child might have behavior problems. Now, that's a possibility, but most likely that child has been empowered. They don't respect their parents. They don't fear their parents. So they damn sure ain't gonna respect or fear any other authority figure. And that's what you have out here. That's why I respect teachers, man. I respect y'all. They need to pay y'all way more money. Y'all got the patience of Job. Because soon as that child invades the space of an adult and you start conducting yourself like an adult, that teacher should have had the freedom to send her little goof ass through a wall.
See, I'm showing you something that's happening around here. That ain't had nothing to do with that teacher had on a mini skirt or didn't have the proper underwear on. These are teachers that have to defend themselves in classes. Let's have the real conversation. This ain't got nothing to do with that little girl that teacher had a personal vendetta against that teacher. That's a substitute. The other teacher, what did she have on? She had on blue jeans and a red sweater. What was the reason why that student felt like they can get all up in that teacher face, grab their hair, hit them, close them out of their own room, put their hands on a teacher like that? And then you got disruption in that class and disruption in the class across the street, across the hall. Explain that to me. This is what's going on. And what y'all don't know is that them same little police officers that work in the schools are constantly downtown at the clerk's office filing criminal charges on these kids at school. You didn't know that, did you? Y'all didn't know that. Some people do, because some of you work in the school system. You won't come on here and say anything. I get it. I respect that because you have to feed your family. But the bottom line is these kids are off the hook. They're disruptive and they're fighting teachers and they're disrupting classrooms and classrooms next door, down the hall and all of that. It's stopping learning. We don't talk about that. You know what they want to talk about in the schools? You know what they really want to talk about? They want, like, I think they're having a meeting tonight about misappropriated funds for tax abatements and how the schools are being cheated. The schools are being cheated out of the tax dollars for tax abatements. And you talking to a bunch of parents who may not even own property where tax abatement is totally irrelevant to their life. Y'all stay focused on that. You stay focused on that. Who was that? Let me see. Let me, you know how I go back and I see something on the comments and I have to address it sometime. I think it was Zulu. Shaba Zulu, I think it was. He said something in the nature of what I think it was in the nature of what we supposed to be talking about here. Shaba Zulu said, giving MAGA what they want to see. No, I'm not. I'm giving us what we need to know because we want to blame everybody else for the shit that go on in our communities. We want to blame the public school system when kids act that way. Yeah. What you want? Okay, would you rather see this or would you rather go to a bullshit meeting tonight about tax abatements, about why kids are acting the way they act? Oh, well, the reason why kids act like that is because the schools aren't getting funded. Public school got plenty of money. They got plenty of money. I could take any public school in the city of Cincinnati. Any public school in the city of Cincinnati, you give me 15 young men, you give me 15 young ladies, and you give me 15 on 15 that want to sit down and learn and be productive, I say this every day. I'll turn out 30 unbelievable citizens, 30 unbelievable kids will turn into productive individuals in this world. We'll have lawyers, doctors, scientists. We'll have a whole lot of other shit. But see, when you have disruptions like that in class, it affects everyone. It affects the entire school. When you have kids bringing weapons to school, that affects the entire school. When you have a class clown who do shit like that, it affects the entire school. This is the reason why parents send their kids. This is the biggest reason why they send their kids to private school. Because they don't want their kids in classrooms like that. Now, you can say what you want to say. You can say what you want to say. But anybody right now that can cut a check to send their kid to a private school and it ain't going to phase you, you going to do it. You going to do it if you value education, because you know it's all about where your kid go to school, who they sit next to, and what's the environment in those classrooms. If you ain't thinking like that, then you're not parenting properly. But those same parents that send their kid to like a public school, like where I'm from, if your parent is not engaged in the school, if you don't know the last time, if you ain't seen one of your kids' report cards in forever, and then you turn around and they didn't fail, that's your fault. That kid failed because of you. That kid failed because of you. You the one who not engaged in that kid's school work. You the one who not engaged with everything else. You too busy trying to buy him J's and he getting F's. You too busy trying to buy him all this designer shit and he getting F's. You too busy trying to keep the Hulu and all that shit on and he getting F's. Stop it. So yeah, Zulu, I respect what you're saying, brother. You're absolutely right. But I'm a man that cover many, many subjects and topics that we need to work on. I can't talk the economy with these guys all day like that, brother. I know what you're saying. You're absolutely right. But don't nobody want to follow the money like I do every day, bro. They really don't. Respect what I'm doing for this minute. I get to where we need to be on everything else. It's coming. I'm about to get on these guys about the PG Sittenfield. The same Negroes that followed that man. The same ones that talk all that pro-black shit that wanted all that white dollar from him. Where they at? Where are all of them that wouldn't dare say anything about him during this trial? Where they at? PG Sittenfield is a convicted criminal. And he's going to jail. A federal judge came back with, nah, you didn't bring enough evidence to get a new trial. That actually shocked me. It shocked me because they played a game. It kept him out of jail for an extra year. It kept him out of jail another year. He played the game. I expected him to go to jail in about 2.5 to 3 years. I expected that because I thought he would get a new trial. Don't ask me why. It's just that he had enough money to get a new trial. I was wrong. I was wrong. I thought for sure that enough of the jury situation that they brought up in those motions would allow a judge to look at it, review it, and say, all right, we'll give it a shot. We'll do it again. Maybe there was some tampering. I don't know what was. I didn't go to one case. I didn't go to one court setting down there during his trial. I already knew what it was. You ain't going to have nobody. The feds are not going to have anyone on video, audio, all the recordings for over a year, file an indictment and miss. It ain't gonna never happen in the United States of America. Never, ever. Never, ever, never, ever, ever will the feds have you under investigation for a 1.5 years plus with video and audio, and then they file an indictment and they don't get a conviction. It ain't gonna never happen because they would have never filed the indictment. They would have never gotten an indictment if they couldn't get a conviction. The feds don't play. They get a concrete case on you. Very seldom do you see a technicality. They don't play. He didn't stand a chance. And we still had our people that was looking up to him, PG, then went down to the Duke Energy Center, got the little bullhorn, told all the police, stand down, stand down, stand down, stand down, did all that old shit to flex for the black folks down there and all that old goofy ass shit. Y'all fell in love with him, melting me like butter all on me. I said, he using y'all. And let me just make it makes even more sense for you if you don't want to believe me. Black folks, y'all wasn't even part of the big play that he was trying to produce in the city with all that property. He used you up. He already knew he can count on your vote. They always know that. He knew that he can use you and get your vote. He knew that. He bragged about it. Don't you feel stupid? He bragged about it. The only ones that don't feel stupid right now is the ones who know how to play the game. The regular ones who know how to play that game. And that is, well, you know, the Don King move. Walk in the ring with the winner, the champ, with the big tall white boy with the pretty smile. Walk in the ring with him and walk out with the real winner. That's those people in Cincinnati that got that Don King syndrome. Well, yeah, PG was cool, but you wasn't even part of the big play. He'll give y'all some little punk ass little $100. I mean, $1,000, $2,000, $2,500, $3,000, some little punk ass change. And he's sitting back here doing 6-figure deals. And you nowhere in that play, doing exclusive land deals for gambling, and you won't own none of it. And y'all went down with the ship with him too. Went down, because you know what? You was gasping for air. You was living off them bubbles. Bubbles. You thought he was going to survive the shit. You thought he was going to go to court, get a new trial, and his peers were going to set him free. I know what you was thinking. You thought I got a hope for the great white hope. The white boy going to give me some money so I can jump my shit off. Why couldn't it have been county or state? I bet you Rich Dieters would have indicted him instead of the feds. How you stood a chance with Dieters, the guy that you didn't like. Mixed up ass people. Mixed up. And then you get played in broad daylight and act like the shit didn't even happen. Got played in broad daylight. He robbed the bank of the community in broad daylight. And y'all still won't even say nothing. You got to feel stupid as hell. And I went to bat for the man like, hey man, stop talking on the radios and shit, man. You don't want to piss the feds off. You don't want to do that. Broad daylight. Where are all the supporters at for him? Because, he was supposedly doing all this shit for the black community. Where at? Y'all love that dude. Where are your black leaders that rocked with him? Where are your radio and podcast people that was rocking with the zoo? Where they at? I've been here 3 years saying the same shit. And everything that I talk about come to light. It take a tragedy for you to believe me. You believe them and they wrong every time. Every time they wrong. Oh, Cincinnati got the right council now. Oh, Cincinnati got this, they got that. We on the right track. We about to be the best city. Black people about to have it all in the city of Cincinnati. Okay. All right. First order of business that hit people that was middle class and lower, they didn't do anything to help you. They ain't done nothing to help you. They gonna argue all the way till it's time to vote again and put some shit in front of you like tax abatements, tell you that the richest people in the city and the richest communities are getting tax abatements when you don't. That's your argument? That's your argument. Your argument is they're giving tax abatements to the richest part of the town, but the poor town don't get it. Explain to me how poor people can take advantage of a tax abatement. Not a tax exemption. If you really want to impress somebody that really know about this shit, throw tax exemption in the air, not tax abatement, because what you're trying to tell people to do is spend money so you don't have to now pay taxes on it. That's different. That's different. That's totally different than a tax exemption. So in other words, now I have a property that's worth $100,000, grandma's house. Well, grandma need about $70,000 worth of work on the house. So now if I do all of that, I get a tax exemption. Can you explain to me where the $70,000 gonna come from? Where's the $70,000 gonna come from? Let me explain something to you how this government money works so y'all will get it. Let me explain something to you. If you're a nonprofit organization and you get money, let's say through grants, and you get you someone like a really good grant writer, and this grant writer is working basically on points, which means a percentage, so to say. Let's say that this grant writer is getting you $25,000 from 4 different grants. They write you a grant, so that's $100,000. Let's say, let's keep it simple. I don't want to split it up. You got the number 1 grant writer in Ohio. This grant writer gets you a grant for $100,000. Okay? In that grant, you make promises. And you say, I'm using the money to do this, and that. And when you get that money, you got to account for everything you said you were going to do. I'm going to hire this amount of many people. I'm going to have this type of money in the office as far as rent. I'm going to have this, I'm going to have that, and blah, blah, blah. Okay? So now you got to account for that $100,000. Your salary is in there, whatever. At the end of the year, say for instance, you only spent 60,000 of it. 60,000 of the 40,000 because the shit ain't working out for you. Like you didn't hire everybody, did what you needed to do, but you're not able to be effective in what you're doing. And you spent 60,000, 70,000. You spent 70,000 doing it the way you did it, but you wrote the grant. They wrote the grant up for 100,000. So you're $30,000 to the good, right? So the next year, your same grant writer write a grant or write a proposal for a grant to that same individual, that same group. You think they're going to give you 100,000 this next time? You think they're going to give you 100,000 when you only used 70,000 last year? They're going to come back and say, well, hey, listen, why do you need 100,000? The books show you only use 70,000. So why do you need 125,000 this year? No, they're going to short you the money. They're going to short you. They're going to try to give you what you spent last year. You spent 70,000. You stayed functionable. So that's what we're willing to give you is 70,000. So now when you don't use that 30,000, you know what happens? People start talking. They start saying, well, we got this money and we're allocating it to this type of stuff like black-owned business and this, and they're not using up all that money. We got to figure out something to do with that money. And that's when you get cities and city councils to start allocating that money in different directions. It looked racial, don't it? It looked racist. It looked like what they doing is taking all this leftover money or money that they can't use in these grants and they allocating it for other shit, and they're not using it in the deprived areas like they should. This is the difference between somebody that know this shit and somebody that quite don't understand it. You'll let those people speak up, talk, earn their little nonprofit money, and tell you how they being weak, how the school system is not getting the money right. They'll tell you all that shit, but have them explain the process. Don't have them explain to you what's wrong, because you'll be able to figure out how the shit working once they explain to you the process. Well, why would you need another 100,000 next year if all you're doing is using 70,000 every year? Why would they keep sending you 100,000 when you're not using it all? You would have those questions. And you don't think the person who's sending the money had them same questions? Come on, man. Look, at least be honest. Well, they can't be honest about it, because honesty will give you and I, who have common sense, we'll figure the shit out. We'll figure it out. Like, okay, if they're not using the money, why should they keep sending it? And if they're not going to use the money, we could send it somewhere else that is going to use the money. That happens. That happens. So my point of this is we got to stay focused. But in order to be focused, you got to know what's for real. You got to know the right information. You can't keep on listening to people that they have, there's motive for them to pass certain information over to you. There's motive. Like they get something out of it. They actually get something out of you being misinformed or knowing half the truth or not knowing how the programs and the systems work. They get something out of that. Excuse me, I'm sorry about that. I got a message. I just want to make sure it's not something serious because it was on my private line. Okay. So PG, I don't know how I jumped off on this, but I do know because PG was part of the money thing. He didn't involve black folks. The only black person he involved is the one that he used in clear daylight. And it came out. He used Ndukwe, former Bengal, used him up. Ndukwe wasn't even, they was cool, but he didn't have nothing to offer him until he could use his black status and use his minority ownership. Then he told the what is that, 3CDC to sell that, not 3CDC, but the port. Told the port to sell him. PG told them, y'all sell that to him, 400,000, whatever it is, for $1. Come on, we got to get some black people involved. This is what he doing while he telling them. Come on, we got to get some black people involved. Ndukwe wasn't no value to PG until the minority system came in. That's it. And I'm so happy. Look, if y'all listen, the only time I ever cheered for a snitch in my life was right there. I cheered for him like he was still on the Bengals. I cheered for him like he was playing safety for the Bengals and ran back a Tom Brady interception for a touchdown to put us in the Super Bowl. Because it couldn't have been more serving for that man, for a black man to set him up for trying to use his black status, for trying to use his minority status to get a good deal. And the only black person that was going to get something out of that whole deal was going to be Ndukwe. But now let's be honest. Ndukwe had to have some shit going on with the feds already for them to be able to, for him to come to the table and say, well, what can you do for us? He said, I can get you this guy. Guess who that guy was? PG. Gave him PG. PG. And you think that the feds is going to do a 2-year investigation? Let me tell you something. I've seen the feds run, not personally, but I've heard and seen 4 and 5 years of investigating, and they walk away because they don't have enough. I've seen them run investigations and stings for years, and they'll pull out. They'll pull out because they don't have enough. When I heard that they had 2 years of recordings, 2 years of video recording, audio and all that shit on this man, and they had it where, they was trying to be nice. They were playing nice and not putting the case out in the open air. They was playing nice. It was his attorneys that were filing motions and leaking it to the press, trying to make the feds look bad. Oh, wait a minute. They filed a motion about he was set up. Sent him to a party. They sent him to a party with underage girls that was drinking. An opening day game. Come on, bro. That was foolish of those attorneys to even bring that motion up the air, because now you got to explain to your wife what the hell you was doing in there. And I know you got it off on her. I know you jumped it off. Oh, honey, how did I know that the girls were, those weren't my girls. Those was Ndukwe's. Blame him. Those was Ndukwe girlfriends. He brought them to the party. I didn't know they were underage. I never even spoke to one. Yeah, okay. You jumped all that off. I know you got all that off. It's cool. But the feds knew the truth. The feds knew the truth because probably everybody in that party worked for the feds. Everybody in that party probably was an undercover agent. It was him and the other councilmen that were in there that didn't know what was going on. But you know what? Whenever I hear that city council members are going to condominiums and meeting these developers at their cribs, it's some shady shit going on. They had on record that this man was going to, I forgot the name of the condo, but it's right downtown, down the street from my office in Cincinnati. They had surveillance and he was wired in that condo. So now explain to me how I don't see a conviction coming. But you know what they told me? Y'all remember when I first started talking about this? They called me a hater. It wasn't me even hating on him, the PG guy. They said I was hating on the radio people and the podcast people. I'm hating on them. I wasn't hating on them. I was just wondering why you don't have the same energy for this man that you would if it would have been the mayor of Cincinnati at that time. Well, I don't even remember his name, Cranley. If it would have been any white dude down there going through the same shit that was on the other side, like a Republican or something, y'all would have lit his ass up. Y'all would have lit his ass up. But since it's just this guy and he's on your team, just like, well, I ain't gonna get into who all got convicted. I don't want to do that. I'm better than that. I don't have to do that. I told you what was going to happen. I even offered out look, I don't even want to get into that. But I told you what was going to happen to the one that used us. And it turned out to be just like that. My biggest problem was where was the energy and the coverage when this man was facing them charges? Everybody wanted to have we'll wait back and see. Y'all talk about some shit that Trump might be facing versus a man that was facing a federal indictment. Y'all was talking about how much crime this Trump motherfucker is doing. Trump, all day on the radio, podcast, all day. But you ain't even talking about a dude in your own city that's facing federal indictments. That's ass kiss shit to me. That's ass kiss shit to me. Sorry. Somebody got to tell the truth. Somebody got to tell you the truth. What else is going on? Y'all see what went on in Chicago over the weekend, right? Well, Cincinnati, we really don't have much room. Because we got little 14-year-old boys and 16-year-old boys dropping dead out here by gun violence. Dropping dead to gun violence. And you know what we doing? We ready to talk about an 80-year-old man or 85-year-old man. I've been seeing the comments and I've seen all the posts on the radio, on the podcasts and the Facebooks and all. We in a whole city where the shit is happening right before our eyes. But what we want to concentrate on is the 80-year-old man. I don't even know who he is. 85 years old, who shot the little black kid. That's your concentration. You concentrate on, y'all ready to get t-shirts. I mean, listen, it's a horrible tragedy. It's a horrible tragedy. What happened? But you know some of that same shit is happening in your city by people his age, 16-year-olds dying. Why don't you have the same energy for the kids that's dying in your community? By kids that look like them, by grown-up men that's shooting kids shooting grown-ups. Why you not matching the energy? You want a t-shirt of the 85, you want to do a t-shirt and you want to say RIP to a kid somewhere else that you don't really know what happened. We don't know the real story, but you'll get that more energy than you give to a kid dead, a 14-year-old killed at 2 o'clock in the morning, 16-year-old killed at 2 o'clock in the morning in your own community. Make it make sense. You You've been brainwashed to put. Look, let me just say this. I'm gonna say something, and it ain't gonna sound good, but I gotta say it. I shouldn't say this. Y'all know me. When it's on my mind, I will say it. If you're new here, you probably not gonna ever want to watch me again because you're gonna think I'm on some bullshit. But the truth of the matter is, sometimes what we tend to do is we tend to worry about the leaky faucet, and we don't worry about the fire in the kitchen. Now you figure that shit out. You let that marinate. You let that marinate. There ain't too many 80-year-old white men killing black kids in this country. But there's a whole lot of 16-year-olds black in our community shooting one another. I know, didn't sound good, and that pill it's hard to swallow. It's a hard pill to swallow. You got kids running around Chicago with their heads cut off, robbing and stealing people throughout the streets. Is CNN showing y'all this? Is MSNBC showing you this? This is real shit. And you got people that try to make you believe that all this is made up. They just throwing a magnifying glass on black kids. This shit is real. You had a 16-year-old kid take a gun to Kings Island. The fuck? Why? You do know Kings Island is a place of fun and amusement? No, you know what our focus is? That old ass white man, wherever the hell it was, in whatever city and state it was, shot that black kid 2 times. How many times? Let me ask y'all this. How many times did the 16-year-old, last night, how many bullet wounds did he have? Let me ask y'all something. How many of y'all have put on the post out on Facebook or Twitter or wherever you at? How many of y'all have put that kid who died last night at 2 o'clock in the morning, 16 years old, how many of y'all put his name up on Facebook? RIP to what his name is. How many of y'all sent condolences out to his family? You don't even know his name. You don't even know his name. You've been conditioned to know the one who was killed by the white man. And what you basically is saying, it's okay for us to kill each other, but the white people can't kill us. Oh my God. Ain't it Lacole that you say that was your nephew? Put his name in the chat, please. Put his name in the chat. Since we always want to yell people's names, put his name in the chat so I can say it every 5 minutes. Out of respect. Like I do Pup. Like I do Lil Pup. And now let me ask y'all something. How many of y'all seen the mother of the army soldier, the black guy, Brandon Burton? Know that name. Hashtag that name. Hashtag that 16-year-old's name. Send his family some prayers. 16-year-old kid shot and killed in your own city. Y'all don't even know his name. How many 80-year-old white men are killing black kids in the United States of America? I know y'all don't want to hear this. How many? I got something to show you. How about this stat right here? I couldn't think of a better time to show it to you. Let's look at this right here. Gun deaths amongst kids in 2021. Black kids, 84%. White kids, 24%. Suicide. Black kids are not killing themselves. We are not killing ourselves. So out of that 84% of black kids in homicides, how many were done by white people, Asian people, Jewish people, any other people than us? How many of them were done by someone else? White people, according to this, white kids are killing themselves. Over half of them are killing themselves in suicides. So damn near 85% of black kids that are dying are homicides, which means murders. Come on, man. Say his name. Brandon Burton. Say his name. I will. I'm going to write it down, and you're going to hear that name every 5 minutes. Y'all want to talk about somebody you didn't know? You don't even know the situation. I know I got a little brother in the city of Cincinnati dead last night who's 16 years old, who ain't seen half of life yet, and don't nobody know his name. But you're hollering about an 85-year-old white man who killed a black kid. That's all you need to hear. No circumstance. And then I heard what y'all said about, well, they just told the white man to turn himself in when he want to. All you got to do is keep on smearing the shit on the cupcake and you'll eventually eat it. You don't even smell it first. You don't even smell it first. As long as they give you the proper narrative. Thank you, Roz. Thank you, Miss Reed. Brandon Burton. Say his name. Crump always want to talk about say somebody's name. He only say the names of people that's killed by white men. Why he don't say the names of the little kids and our people that's killed by us? Why he don't say that? Why is it a problem? Why is it more of a problem when somebody else do something to us? There go Miss James. She know. Listen, to the lady, if I may, Miss James, I'm sorry. If I'm out of line, tell me right now I'm out of line. Or text me and let me know I'm out of line, okay? If you don't feel comfortable with me doing this, but let me explain something. Miss James lost her grandson in a shootout in Cincinnati, and he was an innocent victim inside of the dollar, like a Family Dollar or something, Dollar's Tree, Dollar Store, whatever. Y'all know Dollar General and all that. Some kids did some drive-by shooting in the city of Cincinnati and struck Pup, killed him. Young guys did it for no reason. Pup was not a street kid. We don't talk about that shit. We don't talk about it. Miss James, if you don't mind, the young lady that put the name out, if they can get a hold of you, that would be great. Because people that grieve like that, they need each other. Because the other people don't have a clue what y'all go through. Yeah, they don't have a clue. They instigate some shit that they've been brainwashed to believe every day. They can't wait for a police officer to kill one of us. That'll erase Brandon's name. It'll erase Pup name. They're irrelevant to the whole movement once the police get involved and do something to somebody. DC, Daryl Carpenter said, what happened to Brandon Burton? He was shot and killed last night or the night before. 16-year-old little brother that was shot and killed. The police found him, or they found him, rushed him to the hospital, and I believe, with respect of the little bit I know, I believe he died at the hospital. From my understanding, from what I've been told. When we gonna stop letting them manipulate us, man? When is one? I tell you what. Okay, Anna, is it okay if Miss James get a hold of you, Nicole? Is it okay if they reach out to the family? Because I got about 5 mamas that watched this show that lost a kid in the city of Cincinnati to gun violence. And don't nobody talk to them like I do. I talk to them. And I know what they're going through. I can't imagine it. Okay, she said yes, Miss James. If you don't mind, please, sister, please reach out. Reach out to Anna Nicole, if you can. If you see her name on there, she's on Facebook. Okay, she said, Anna, she said she would love to reach out if you would reach out or whatever. You guys connect. You guys connect. And if there's anything I can do, Miss James, you know what it is. If there's anything I can do, let me know. Because all they doing, okay, and Miss Fox, y'all know Black Fox lost her son to gun violence in the city of Cincinnati as well. She says she's available. You sisters get together, okay? And Send me the message. Let me know what's going on. If I can help, let me know. Because what's going to happen here is the next tragedy that happens, you know how this works. Pass the salt. On to the next situation. And we never correct it. Just like they talking about all the gun violence in the city of Cincinnati. The day that they had the damn meeting, the next day there was a shooting, another death of a teenager. Remember when the bus stop, I guess it was the kids was at the bus stop at Woodward High School? Remember that? And the community wanted to come back and do a meeting. I mean, we do these meetings all the time. I shouldn't say we. I used to be involved in that. It only took me 3 or 4 meetings to understand, wait a minute, we just said this shit last April. We just said this in May. Yeah, about this same time last year, we were saying the same thing. And I start seeing the same faces. And, well, new victims, but same faces here in the trauma that was happening to people. And what I didn't see in the meetings were the parents of the kids who out here doing this mess. The parents who kids out here ripping and running and all that old goofy stuff, those are the ones who are not in the meetings. The kids that need to be in there listening to this shit, they're not in the meetings. I want to show you a video. In Cincinnati, if you're not worried, I told you 2 years ago this type of shit was going to happen. If you're not worried, hold on, let me make sure I got the right thing here. Yeah, there it is. All right, if you're not worried, stay asleep on this. But I'm about to tell you something right now. Look at the kids over the weekend in Chicago. Look at the kids out in San Francisco. It always happened in larger metropolitan cities first. Don't think because it's in, Chicago's in the Midwest. Chicago is a drive away from Cincinnati, 4 hours, 5 hours. And nobody's going to Chicago anymore. This is going to be the last year for Chicago. I know the Democrat Party doing their little thing. Great. You deserve it. Y'all deserve to go to Chicago. Y'all deserve to go to Chicago and put on your little puppet show. You deserve to go there because it's going to be some of the last money Chicago get. They about to raise corporate taxes in Chicago. They lowering the protection to the citizens, and they allowing the kids to run ruckus, to run crazy. Check this video out. Check this video out, and you tell me, why is this possible? Tell me why we let them do this, and why don't you expect kids to die when they allow them to be this crazy? Look at this.
News off the top. Hundreds of teens flooding into downtown Chicago tonight, smashing car windows, trying to get into Millennium Park, prompting a major police response. Within the past few minutes, shots were fired near the corner of Madison and Michigan. Now, we had a news crew on the scene, but they had to move because of safety concerns. I was there a little bit earlier, about an hour and a half ago, and saw police escorting tourists and visitors to their cars in the Millennium Park parking garage. The crowd was trying to get into Millennium Park, but there are checkpoints that are not allowing anyone under the age of 21 who's not with an adult to get in. So they're massing across the street on the other side of Michigan Avenue. I spoke to a woman whose car was smashed by people jumping on the windshield. She says the crowd began beating her husband as he sat in the driver's seat. He's now been sent to Northwestern Memorial Hospital. I also talked to a woman, a Chicago native, who was appalled by what she saw.
What I see out here is completely ludicrous, to be honest with you. I'm appalled at what I see. I'm from Chicago, and I understand kids having a good time, but it's simply bad parenting. We have to do better as parents. Our kids should not be out here. Where are their parents at? That's my question.
Believe it or not, there is something.
The situation continues to develop at this hour. As we mentioned, we have a reporter on the scene, but there are some security concerns. Fox 32's Nate Rogers is on Michigan Avenue in a protective position. Nate, can you tell us what you see right now?
Yeah, that's right, Dane. As you just mentioned, we're downtown on Michigan and Randolph. I'm actually probably a block away from a lot of where the chaos has originated. Right now, Chicago police are trying to clear Michigan Avenue, at least from Randolph until maybe 3 or 4 blocks south on Michigan. Very active scene indeed. Hundreds of officers working this investigation. There are reports, unconfirmed by Chicago police, of multiple people shot at Michigan and Washington, also Michigan and Wabash. The Chicago Fire Department, we're told, is here along with paramedics and Chicago SWAT teams, all assisting in this investigation. Now, the chaos here downtown began or erupted just before 8 p.m. Several hundred young people traveling in groups, kids seen jumping barricades into Millennium Park, also jumping on top of cars. Other reports indicated large groups trying to force their way into the Art Institute. This appears to be one of those teen takeovers that we saw last year, publicized widely on social media, attracting thousands into the downtown area as well as to Chicago area beaches. The teens are seen with their cell phones out, Bluetooth music speakers blasting, dancing while recording videos, hoping that they'll go viral. Now, I'm back out here live really just within the last 10 minutes or so ago. My photographer and I, Raphael, we heard at least 4 gunshots while we were standing at Michigan and Washington. We ran along with another TV news crew just to get to safety. Maybe 5 minutes after that, we heard even more gunshots. And so right now, Chicago police are trying to clear this area. If you can see from where I'm standing right now, gridlock traffic indeed. I mean, Chicago police here in great numbers, along with the Chicago Fire Department, paramedics. We understand that SWAT teams are here as well. A lot of folks are being rerouted to nearby public transportation just so they can get home. We also have seen police trying to escort tourists back into their hotels. Chicago police working right now to get a handle on all of this. We haven't received any updated information on if there have been any victims associated with any of this. That is the latest here in downtown Chicago. Nate Rogers, Fox 32, Chicago.
All right, guys, so you've seen that.
Okay, I know it's fairly long, but it was what they were talking about on the news. Why are those kids running around that late at night? Where are their parents? Now, here's the other thing. They're talking about Chicago just lost 4 Walmarts. And these Walmarts were pivotal areas of Chicago. So now you're losing the drugstore, which would be for medication. You're losing groceries, and you're losing fans in the summertime. Where they gonna go shop for the things they need, for their essentials? And you know what? You see kids running around breaking up stores. Those stores aren't going. A lot of those stores won't reopen. If these kids aren't punished and nothing's done about it, nobody's going to stay there and stay in business, because it's going to happen again. And this is what's happening. Check California. All you got to do is look at your big metropolitan cities where this is happening. Remember when this shit was happening, when all the purses and shit were being snatched and the break-ins like last year, right around summertime? They were going into the stores in broad daylight, snatching stuff. And I was like, yo, if they don't do nothing about that in Chicago, if they don't do nothing about that in Seattle, if they don't do anything about that out in San Francisco, that shit'll be in Cincinnati in no time. What happened? 2 weeks later, you would have thought I plotted some shit. 2 weeks later, they hit Kenwood Mall in broad daylight at the Louis store. Who remember that? Who remember that? Who remember the Kenwood store getting hit last year? And them guys just ran right in the store in broad daylight, grabbed everything, and just walked right out. Who remember that? I told you it'd take tragedy for you to sometimes, I know I say some things when it's before it's time. I know I say some things that make me sound crazy, But all I got to do is pay attention to what's going on somewhere else and the repercussions that they facing. If there's no repercussions, if the people in the stores are being told, don't fight, let them take whatever they take. Look at all the Apple stores that are closing. The Walmart in Chicago had lost $10 million. $10 million. And you know what? Let me be honest with you. There's only one group of people that feel entitled. There's only one group of people that feel entitled that a business has to stay in your community. No matter how you shit on it, excuse my language, no matter how bad you treat it, no matter how horrible you keep the outside, no matter how much you cuss out the employees, no matter how much you do to that place by stealing and the shortages and the theft, all that shit, no matter how you treat that company, they supposed to be there for you. Why? Why do you blame Walmart for leaving a area in the city when they've been losing $10 million plus? Why do you feel obligated? Why do you feel entitled for them to stay in your community? Look at the is it CVS or Walgreens? Somebody will correct me. What about the CVS or Walgreens up there by Woodward in Cincinnati on Reading Road? They couldn't stay there no longer. They've been losing money for years. They're not obligated to stay there. They're a business. They don't get government funded money to stay in business to compensate for their shortages, for their losses. They don't get that money. There's only a certain mindset that says, okay, thank you, LaDonna. She said it was Walgreens. All that drama and shit that go on and them kids shooting and the guns and all, that didn't happen 3-4 times right around there. For the safety of their staff. They have no reason to be at that location. Number one, it's losing money. Number two, it's a risk. It's a liability on their books. Not to mention, it's a liability and it's a lawsuit waiting to happen. If a staff member gets stabbed, shot, or anything, they're going to say that that place didn't have the proper security. You just want us to keep dumping money in a place. Now I got to add extra cameras, extra security. I got to do all of this to try to stay in business to a business that's failing. Where they do that at? And you know, there's some city council people, not necessarily Cincinnati. I shouldn't say Cincy. I shouldn't say city council. I should say some activists. Because I don't want to, I was being specific in Cincinnati in this case, but there are some city council members and activists telling Chicagoans, people that live in Chicago, that Walmart is wrong for leaving their community. Wait a minute, councilman. Wait a minute, new mayor. You trying to tell me that this company that's been losing millions on top of millions is supposed to stay there for what reason? And you try to shame them because it's time for them to go? Oh, I got to show you this video. This just happened this weekend in Chicago. You know they got a new mayor that's about to start. So they getting up all the people that's going to be on the team. They getting up all the chaos agents that helped him put the signs up about what's going on in Chicago. It ain't nobody's fault. It's corporate America's fault that the people act the way they act. It's corporate America's fault because them kids was running down the Chicago street of Michigan Ave, busting in the Louis store, busting in the Gucci store. It's corporate America's fault because people don't raise their kids proper. At the beginning of this video, I'm going to show you, it's a short video. It's about a minute long. Please pay attention to what this man is telling our people. This is our leadership. This is our leadership. This is someone trying to say to us that Walmart is wrong. It's corporate America's fault that our communities are the way they are. And then I got some more video in this video that's going to show what happened to the stores in the city of Chicago over the weekend. Listen to the sister, what she say to the other sister. This is a good one. Check this out.
Wonder why
Yes, sir.
our communities look like they look.
Speak
That
the
we
truth.
have violence every single day.
Speak the truth.
It is just not on us. It is on the corporate citizens that come into our community and ravage our community. And Walmart, you should be absolutely ashamed of yourselves.
Ain't before God.
You are the reason that our communities lack the investment that they have.
Pause. Pause. This man who wants to sound like a preacher, I don't know if he is or not, but that's not preaching. You just told these people who said, tell it, say it. You just blame Walmart for being the problem in your community because they're not bringing economics. The last time I checked, they hire people in our communities when most of the people that live in the community that the Walmarts are in, they work at that Walmart. So what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Help me understand what the hell you talking about. You can't just say that shit, throw a rock and hide your hand and because everybody clapping. How does Walmart deprive our community when you open a store? He's talking about the store that was losing $10 million. And all you got is a bunch of sheep right there following because he got the Martin Luther King shit going. It's the truth. Finish the video, Wyatt.
We should not have to go out of our communities to find jobs. We should not have to go out of our communities to get medicine.
Pause. You're looking inside of one of the stores just this weekend. He's right. That's the only thing that he said that was right. We should not have to go outside our communities to get groceries. We should not have to go outside our community to get medicine. We should not have to go outside our communities to get that shit. But are you thinking that when those stores are standing, when those brick and mortars are standing there? Are you thinking about that? When you see the little boys out there stealing the carts and taking them down to play in the playgrounds, or you know somebody stealing out of the store, the first thing you say when you see a security guard or a police officer grabbing one of these little kids up, the first thing y'all say is, you ain't got to grab him all like that. You ain't got to do all like that. You ain't got to do all that to him. He just a kid. You ain't got to do it. That's what you worry about more than the actual problem. So now, I digress. Finish the video, Wyatt. Look at inside of these stores. Look at what happened just over the weekend, and your argument is they shouldn't leave? Please.
That's what he started.
Huh?
That's what he started.
Who?
He put his neck on that man's neck and said we weren't gonna do shit.
Oh yeah.
He did that.
That's fine and all, but you know we lost our Walmart. But you know we lost our Walmart, right?
Is it ours?
Huh?
Is it ours?
Yes, because it's in our community. Guess where we're gonna go for our Christmas?
So we not smart enough to build our own Walmart? Are we not smart enough to take out a loan and build our own shit?
Because they'll let us, right?
Pause. Did you hear what the sister said? That was the Walmart. That was the Walmart that was destroyed. The lady said, so you know we lost our Walmart, right? The other sister said, yeah, well, we ain't smart enough to get our own Walmart. We're not smart enough to get our own Walmart. We can't put our money together to get a Walmart. And then you hear what the sister who was being smart at first said, the one who was like, you know, we lost our Walmart. She turns to the other sister when she was talking about putting your money together and can't we get a loan and get our money together and do a Walmart. You know what the other sister said? She said, oh, and they gonna let us do that. You know, it's not only Walmarts that sell pharmacy. It's not only Walmarts that sell groceries. It's not only Walmarts that where you can buy, you know, home goods, you know, home items, deodorant and all that. It's not only Walmart's not the only place. I tell you what, to my brothers and my sisters, Walgreens just shut down. Well, they're shutting down. I don't know if they're still there. On Reading Road, the Walgreens shut down. There go your opportunity right there. Who gonna stop you? Why don't your black leaders step up? They so concerned about your community. If they really concerned about your community, there's been you know what? Every time I see a CVS or Walgreens close down, I see a foreigner go get that property and turn it into a business. Either a furniture store, a hair wig store, or some other grocery store that's Mexican or Pakistan related. We the only ones that don't go get them big buildings. But we the only ones that holler and complain about what they taking from us. Finish the video, Wyatt.
We gotta put our money together. We ain't gotta let nobody let us.
I would love to see that happen.
Hey guys.
That was Chicago over the weekend. There were gun violence, there were shootings, there were some deaths. I'm just asking where the parents at all them kids. We don't have a problem holding other people accountable for the shit they do to us. We'll even say that a school teacher who confiscated a cell phone robbed a kid. That's foolishness. We'll say that this school teacher was looking to get into a fight because she didn't wear panties to work. She had on a thong or whatever foolishness that y'all want to joke about. However y'all want to make this funny, keep on laughing because those are the people that's helping the problem stay what the problem is. God gave me an ability to start a platform. I finance it myself. I don't ask for any help. And damn it, I'm going to be here and speak until he tell me I can't do it anymore. Until I can't do it anymore. And for those that don't agree with what I say, you don't have to be here and listen. I ain't forcing nobody to be here. But what I'm doing is I'm telling people what they afraid to say in public. I'm just speaking the truth. I'm giving you what some of the problem truly is. If we keep masking the real issue, you'll never fix it. But to make light of a young girl who gets into it with a substitute teacher, and y'all don't even understand the reason why that little girl is even fighting a substitute teacher is because they can't find teachers. They can't find substitutes that have the proper schooling to teach our kids. These are just fill-ins. These are fill-in people. I wonder why. It's hard to fill school teaching jobs. A lot of y'all say, well, they don't pay teachers enough. You know what? The only reason why you say they don't pay teachers enough is because of what they go through. It's not because $60,000 ain't a lot of money. How many of y'all make $60,000 doing what you do for a living? How many of y'all only work 9 months out of the year? I'll take a job paying $60,000. That ain't quite as good as your city council. They make like 60 or 70. They make about 70 grand in they part-time jobs. That's gravy. You should expect more for somebody making that much tax dollars and having a part-time job. But that all being said, these school teachers are working 9 months or 10 months or whatever, 9 months out of the year or whatever, 9.5 months, making good money. But I'm first to tell you, they don't make enough money to deal with what they deal with. That's what it is. You can make a good living being a school teacher. You can live a good life. It's fulfilling. You get a check. It's fulfilling. You watch kids grow and prosper. It's fulfilling. It's an honest living. But all that shit is out the window now when you're dealing with the type of kids they got to deal with. You know where all the good teachers going is to the private schools. Thank you, JD. Jason Doctor said, and pension. You damn right. Great retirement. And y'all turning on these teachers, and it amazes me. Because y'all see the enrollment of these badass kids in the public school system. Imagine them kids that's in school that was running around downtown Chicago. How many of them kids you want in your class? That's so. And the way I was hearing things earlier is like, whoa, wait a minute. I asked several parents who called the show this morning. I said, listen, if that was your daughter that was in fight with that school teacher, that teacher, what would you do? If you seen that video, and it hurt my heart to be like, it hurt my heart to see the little girl get, pent like that. But the little girl brought it on herself. And nothing happened that wasn't going to happen for the actions and the reactions of that little girl. What are your parents teaching you at home? We're not telling our kids, don't be dealing with grown folks out here. Leave that up to me. We're not telling our kids that. We teach what it is you got, what is that little girl, 15 years old? She was probably about 14 or 15 maybe. 14 or 15. So chances are, y'all can get mad at me if you want to, but I know how the shit roll. Chances are her mama ain't nothing but 30. Her mama probably ain't nothing but 30 years old. That's how it was in my life. Okay, I'm going to speak for me. My mama had me when I was 14 years old, when she was 14 years old. So if I'm 14 or 15, my mama 28, 29 years old. Chances are that's what's going on with this little girl too. Her mama's still probably popping off. Her mama probably popping off just like she is. And that's what got her popped in the mouth, because she hit a grown woman. And for those that think that this is appropriate or maybe since the teacher, now this is the ironic thing about this. This is what's crazy. Y'all want to blame the teacher because of her wardrobe. Y'all want to say that she had on the wrong clothing. Y'all want to say that her hair wasn't right. All the shit that you scream and holler about when we say you need to go to a job interview looking like this. You can't wear your hair like that when you're doing certain things. Those chaos agents, the same ones that scream and holler when we say, don't go to these places looking a certain way. You can't go looking like a rap video to an interview. Them the same people that get their panties in a knot when you tell the truth about how you have to present yourself. Now, all of a sudden, they want to defend somebody who did everything wrong and blame the person's dress code. How hypocritical is that? The same people that tell people, yo, you should be able to wear your hair any way you want to wear your hair. You should be, the way you dress don't define who you are. I heard these same people saying that same shit. What job do you have in your life right now where if somebody confronted you on your job, you don't have a legal right to defend yourself? What job do you have or do you know? Who's employed at a company right now where if somebody came in your space, your workspace, came in your cuticle, came behind your desk, came in front of you, physically assaulted you by a punch, and you don't have a right to defend yourself. Name that job right now. Name it. Oh, she shouldn't be fighting that little girl. Wait a minute, whoa. Last time I checked, these little 13, 14, 15-year-old girls stabbing each other in the neck. They using box cutters on each other. They out here playing with, they ain't playing. We hear about it all the time, we just ignore it. Because when a little black girl or a little black boy kill another little black boy or little girl, it don't mean shit to you. The same way it do when an 80-year-old white man shoots you. That's when you really pay attention. That's when it really matters. When you get a brother in front, when you get your so-called leadership in front of a microphone, your perm in the suit dudes. They stand up and tell you how wrong it is, but they don't come out and tell you how wrong it is when you got numbers that are, when you got the house that's on fire. They'll come out with a drippy faucet. They want to come out and fix the drippy faucet. They want to attack the soft targets, but they won't take on the hard target. That is not leadership. That is not leadership. Where's that graph? Where's that other graph at? Gun deaths per 100,000 kids. Why are we leading that? Why are we leading gun deaths by 100,000 when you break it down by per 100,000? Why are we leading that? Now, if you look at that stat, it's 10 times damn near all the other races that are listed here. And then let's go over to this stat and look at black kids in homicides. I know we don't really want to hear this. I know we don't really want to see this. We want to act like it's a system's fault. But as long as we keep ignoring what's going at the ground floor level of our institutions of education, if you keep ignoring that, and it's not the textbooks are old, the computers are old, they serving the wrong food in the lunchroom. It ain't none of that shit. Stop it. It's the kid that don't even open the textbook. It's the kid that he skipped during lunchtime. He don't even go to school. That's when he jumped the fence and he escaped school right at lunchtime. Stop blaming all that other shit that is not even relevant. It's not all the excuses. It's the reality one. It's the one they don't mention. Michelle Obama, I love her to death, but I ain't never heard her say nothing. She got 2 beautiful girls, just like myself. Her and Barack got great kids. Ain't never been to public school. They done got the best schooling in the world. They done grew up in all the nice communities. They done been in all the nice schools and all that shit. That's what it takes, folks. Parents that value education. That's how you keep your kids out the street. That's how you keep your kids at Kings Island without a 9mm in their bag. And you know who it take? It take a kid that don't have that same support system to carry that 9mm up at Kings Island. Now, let me ask y'all a very important question about that. Why does this kid, 16 years old, feel like he even needs a 9mm? Why do you feel like you need a gun at an amusement park? You feel like you need a gun there because you're dealing in a circle of people that carry guns. If you ain't got yours on you, you slipping, right? Or is it just he carrying it because he don't fight? He don't fight. He gonna shoot him. He's just gonna shoot him. Either way is ridiculous. Either way is ridiculous. Somebody explain to me why a 16-year-old kid feels like he needs to carry a gun to Kings Island. Anybody know the names? Oh, I'm sorry. Brandon Burton. Brandon Burton. 16-year-old shot and killed last night. I didn't see all the names of the out-of-towners. I remember last year, Tiffany Daniels, I don't know if y'all remember this. Crystal, a lot of y'all remember me talking about this. Remember the brother that got shot and killed by the police officer up in Columbus, Ohio at nighttime? He was a light-skinned dude. He looked white, but they shot him at nighttime because he had like a Subway sandwich in his hand. They thought it was a gun. It was aluminum foil. They shot him in the garage in the back night area. They shot him. Okay, I'm not going to say that it was a legitimate shooting or an illegitimate shooting, but that happened in Columbus. That same day, a brother lost his life in Washington Park. Y'all don't even know the guy's name in Washington Park because it didn't matter. Because somebody that looked like him killed him. It didn't matter. It only mattered that the police shot a guy up in Columbus, Ohio. That's where our brains are. We don't focus on local. We don't focus in what's happening right here, right now. What's more important to us is how are we victims somewhere else? The police shot that man for nothing. But wait a minute. How you know that was a legitimate shooting and killing of the little kid in Washington Park the same day? Shit, y'all heard the shit in Washington Park and was like, hey man, pass the salt. But then the guy who was shot up in Columbus, Ohio, at nighttime, somewhere he wasn't even supposed, that wasn't even his property. He back there rumbling in somebody's shit. And he pull up, he got a damn sandwich in his hand. It's aluminum foil, and he gets shot. He gets shot. That's the type of shit that happens. Mistakes and errors are going to happen. But why is that more important to you than you trying to tell me that something that's classified as a mistaken shooting is more important to you than a legitimate shooting that takes out Lil Pup? A legitimate shooting that takes out Black Fox's son. A legitimate shooting that takes out Brandon Burton. That's more important to you. A mistake because the police was involved. That's more important to you. I don't get it. I get it because we have been driven. We have been focused to concentrate on that. And there's a reason why. If you keep people emotional, y'all know I'm in the boxing game. One of the reasons why they taunt one another is because they're trying to get in each other's head. They want you to be emotional when you get in the ring because you're going to make a mistake. Think about that strategy. If you get an unfocused mind, you can lead it anywhere. Just think why people want you to be unfocused of your real problem. Why would you worry about a leaky faucet instead of taking care of a burning kitchen? Why? Something that don't happen that often, you worry about that more than you do something that's happening on a regular basis. The numbers show it. The numbers don't lie. The numbers don't lie. You heard that video I played from that guy. This is our leadership in Chicago. They in for a rude awakening if they think because they got a new mayor that shit is going to change in Chicago. It ain't going to do nothing but get even worse. You sat back and blamed Walmart for them leaving, and they're the reason the black community don't have any money. But yet this place was losing $10 million a year dealing with us. Now where those folks going to go get? We didn't think that could ever happen because you sometimes feel entitled. Why we don't have no damn grocery stores in our community? Well, look at how we treat it. You know, black businesses don't want to tell you the truth. They don't want to tell you the truth. But the bottom line is we don't even like opening up businesses in our community because we got extra challenges. It ain't like it used to be. Vince Martin and them, they were more than just a business in our community. You got to be a community first before you can start doing community shit. Them stores down on Lynn Street when we was growing up, they would give us credit because our mamas would go. Harry's, all them places would give our mamas credit when we were short. They would do that for us. But we were a community back then. You can't discipline nobody else's kids. Shit, these kids go to school thinking they the boss. You can see it by how they treating the teachers. And we want to sit back and say it's everybody else's fault and we producing these type of kids. It's not going to get any better if you never can face the truth. If you can never be honest and say we are not truly a community. There's a reason why not that many Asians are dying. There's a reason for that. We don't want to face it. We don't want to tell the truth about it. There's a reason why you see this. There's a reason why gun violence in America is uneven like this. There's a reason why. And I know everybody got an answer. Everybody got a sign, a Black Lives Matter sign that got the answer for this. But on none of them signs do it ever say where the mom at, where the daddy at. None of them signs ever read that. I ain't seen a t-shirt walking down the street with that on it yet. All I see is a bunch of systematic problems. So then let me ask you this. If it's so much the system, why we all ain't fucked up? Why ain't all black people? Why ain't all of us fucked up? If it's the system, we all from the same system. I'm from there. You from there. Why ain't all of us like that? Because it's about choices. I remember my grandmama told me one time, and I don't mean to be disrespectful to the dead, and this don't apply to the kids that was shot down in the streets that may have been innocent in crossfire. Lil Pup wasn't no gangster. He ain't no gangster. That little boy was in the dollar store getting some candy and shit. You know, he had a $5 bill. He in there getting some candy, and there's some other little 13, 14-year-old is in stolen cars going by shooting up the store because they trying to do something to somebody, and he get hit in the crossfire. He's an innocent kid. So this is not for him. This is for the people that act stupid like the guys that took the shot. What I'm about to say applies to them. My granny always told me, and it stuck with me. She say we die looking like our choices. We die in this life looking like our choices. And I'm talking about the people that die hard. The people that live fast and do crazy shit out here, they usually look that way when they die. I don't want to leave on a negative note. So let me just say this. Thank you for being here. It means more to me than you know. It means a lot to me. I remember I used to sit here and talk to 4 people. They know who they are. We did lives and we went 4. We got 4, now we got a few more. There's nobody in the city that I said I wouldn't work with. I've been here in the trenches for 3 years now as of March. And I tried to work with everybody. I've tried to work with everybody. But for some odd damn reason, everybody don't want to work with me. I wonder why. I just don't fit the narrative. Now, what I've been seriously contemplating on doing, and I want to announce this on the show, y'all know next week I'm going to be doing a live from the Wyatt estate. We're going to have a behind the scenes type of thing, and I want to introduce my family to everyone. So we're going to do it live. My wife finally agreed to it. She's a very private individual. And what I'm really wanting to do is I really want to bring this thing to something real. I've been in it 3 years now, and I'm ready to maybe take it to another level. And what I'm really wanting to do is start a network. But I don't want to be the traditional network. I don't want to be a CNN. I don't want to be a Fox. I don't want to be an MSNBC. I don't want to be a Young Turks. What I want to be is all of those names pulled into one, where you can look at things objectively, where I'm not arguing just my points, where you can have a topic that reads one way on CNN and reads another way on Fox. Why can't you have a medium ground platform to talk about that same topic and give the CNN listeners a way of looking at it and the Fox listeners and pull them all in one spot in one location? Why can't we have those type of conversations and it'll clear the air on a lot of misinformation shit? It'll clear the air. You'll be able to decide for yourself what makes more sense. I'm working on it. Tomorrow I'll be on at 9 a.m. doing a test show. It's only a test. It's only a test. If you're available, if you want to listen to me in the mornings while you work, while you driving the bus, while you checking people in, while you getting ready for work, whatever you doing, tune in tomorrow at 9 a.m. I'll be here. Peace and love to everybody, man. That's my time.
Listen to the dance. There's nothing you can do to make me run away from this game here. This game here. And there is no MC that put the competition to Kim, no. Kim, no. Yes, I'm telling you from the start, I will break your little heart. There's nothing you can do, so just respect the dance. There is no word you can say that it would offend the Kim, no. Better listen. I'm gonna murder them. Murder them. Any competition, I'm gonna murder them. I'm gonna blow off their wit. Blow off their wit. All you frontin' MCs, I'm gonna blow off your wit. When I'm gone, you will appreciate my. When I'm gone, you wanna spit my lyrics, better go on. I'm not gonna put up with it, I swear to God. Your jealous make me sick. See, I ain't got no day. Somebody gon' pay. Got things to do and places to be. I'm about to take back what's owed to me. Live from Beth, the star, the sun, the livest one. We right here, we right here, we right here.
Oh y'all, let it go. No disrespecting ho. 4 years since Dow dropped. 11 million records sold. 5 moved on volume 2. Dog saw me grinning Denny. Try to get out of line. 4 cases pending. 3 got it coming. Save May, June. 6 album drops. Stay tuned. It's Jake every day. No days off. No jewels dripping and I took the shades off. You wanna rump with me? Slump you uncomfortably. Put your back where your stomach should be. I'm dangerous when tempted. Best left alone. Best believe the gun got Tourette syndrome. Beretta sounds like bleh when it's thrown. You're headed for a cold place, young and dressed warm. Too much hustle. Too easy to touch you. Little you go play. P.S. J. P.S. B.R. double O.K. L.Y.N. Stay out my way. P.S. L.I. L to the K. I to the M. B.I. to the N.
All of my friends, sometimes I get kinda peeved at these weak MCs with these supreme baller like lyrics. I call them like I CMG. Them sound like me. All of my friends, sometimes I get kinda peeved at these weak MCs. You just got some audacity. You sold $1 million, now you have for me. Get off my dick.
If you look for B.I., then bust one in the sky. Haters watch your back, we might bust one in your eye. It's going down tonight, so don't get out of line. Enough men to try, but enough men to die. Biggie crowned me Miss Queen forever, even left me this throne in the iced out tiara. What? What the who the wanna with this Brooklyn night bandit? Blow you off the planet. Never trouble no one. But if your trouble is girl, it will bring a bum. What a bum.
All of my friends, sometimes I get kinda peeved at these weak MCs with these supreme baller like lyrics. I call them like I CMG. Them sound like me. All of my friends, sometimes I get kinda peeved at these weak MCs. You just got some audacity. You sold $1 million, now you have for me. Get off my dick and kick it. All of my friends, sometimes I get kinda them like I CMG. Y'all it sound like me. Pardon my French, but sometimes I get kinda peeved at these weak MCs. You got some audacity. You're so